Welcome to a new Draw My Life video.
Stranger Things is a US science fiction web television series released by Netflix during summer 2016. It tells the adventures of a group of teenage friends who live in a small Midwestern town in the US, where suddenly paranormal events start taking place. The brothers Matt and Ross Duffer are the creators of the series. They debuted in cinemas in 2015, writing and directing Hidden, the story of a married couple and their little girl who survive a Holocaust locked in a refuge. And after 300 days there, they have to face the threat of the outside. The movie didn't have a big impact, but it was good for them to be able to work together with the famous producer M. Night Shyamalan in his TV series Wayward Pines. After this experience, the brothers decided they were ready to write their own show, and they came up with this story, not only set in the 80s, but also paying tribute to adventure and science fiction movies from back then. According to the Duffers themselves, they wanted to create a perfect couple between Steven Spielberg's human stories and Stephen King's supernatural stories. However, their project was turned down in 15 different cable TV channels. They said an adult plot starred by kids wouldn't work, and they suggested they should either turn it into a kids show or focus the plot in adult characters instead. But the Duffer brothers insisted, and finally the online content production company Netflix bought the pilot script and produced the first season. The auditions to choose the members of the gang was tough. Producers had to try about 1,000 different kids who had to recite lines from the dialogue of the movie Stand By Me, another classic of teen cinema in the 80s. In the end, they found the 5 protagonists led by a really young Millie Bobby Brown, who was only 11 years old during the shooting of the first season. This first season had 8 episodes, and they all were released on Netflix on July 15, 2016. It takes us to November 1983 in Hawkins, a small town in Indiana. A boy called Will Byers disappears mysteriously, and his friends Mike, Dustin, and Lucas try to find him. But instead, they find a weird girl with telekinetic powers called Eleven, who offers herself to help them. Suddenly, the gang is involved in a series of sinister events with government secret experiments involved, and a portal opened to another dimension. Little by little, the series kept increasing its number of followers, and it ended up becoming a world phenomenon, with a legion of fans devoted to the characters and the universe of the series. So much that, for example, a whole public campaign started claiming justice for one of the characters that died in the beginning of the season. And the giant brand Kellogg Company had a disproportionate rise in sales of Eggo waffles, Eleven's favorite food. It was a matter of time that they announced the release of the second season, though initially the Duffer brothers had thought of it as a miniseries. In the beginning, they thought about moving all the action to 1990, with the original characters as adults, coming back to town after some supernatural events had taken place. But, aware of how close fans are to the protagonist's kids, they decided to continue on the following year, 1984. The trailer was even broadcasted during the Super Bowl break in February 2017. And finally, in October 27th, the new 9 episodes were released. On them, our protagonists try to go back to their normal lives after their adventure, but they will soon have to face the consequences of all the past events. They will discover there is a new threat, even bigger than the previous one, for them and for the world. This second installment was as successful with both public and critic as the first one, increasing its number of followers and turning Stranger Things into one of the most popular series in the world. Netflix renewed for a 3rd season, and they even suggested there'd be a 4th one. But this 3rd installment would keep everybody waiting. It took almost 2 years. According to the Duffer brothers, this was in order to keep the high level of the series and to make things easy for a continuation of a high level as well. Its release on the 4th of July 2019 takes place as usual without much info about the plot. We only know it's gonna have 8 episodes. It takes place during the summer of 1985. and the gang, as distant as they've ever been, will have to face new threats from another dimension. The Duffer brothers also said it's been produced at the same time as a fourth season, and that unfortunately, the series won't go any farther than a possible fifth installment in order to maintain a closed ending. So you've been warned, TikTakers, make the most out of this last seasons with our gang. You can always share your pain with us, leaving a comment and telling us what you think of the new episodes, or which is your favorite character in this great adventure.
If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like it. And if you want to see more Draw My Life videos, subscribe to our channel. See you in the next episode.